You are great at singing. No. You find parenthood easy. Well, where do we start with that? That you're really sweet and innocent on camera, but a naughty bad boy in person. I mean, probably ask Lance that one. Hello, and welcome back to Daily Diaries. Today we're going to be starting off this video with some baking with Robbie! What are we going to make? Chocolate muffins?
Yeah.
No, we didn't say chocolate. What did we say? We said blueberry
muffin.
Yes, a blueberry muffin. And what do we have here, Robbie? That's 110 grams of flour, 110 grams of softened butter, 65 grams of caster sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and you're also going to need a couple of eggs. In the freezer over there, we've got some frozen blueberries and raspberries. These lovely jubblies. You're not meant to dip the flour in the butter. Can we put that back there? Because we have to cream the butter together in the mixer with the sugar. Okay, I'm going to put the oven on first. 180. Perfect. You got the butter in there, but oh. Okay. Well, do you want to get the sugar as well?
Oh, just get it off.
Oh, you want me to lift it up?
Yeah.
Please.
Please.
Good boy. In it goes. All of it in. Very good boy. And close this, and now you can turn it back on again. Yep, that's flour. And did you put the baking powder in there as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's flour and baking powder. That goes in. And we've got the mixer paddle on. Good boy. Very good. So now we've made the dough. It's got to go into the fridge and chill for an hour before we start baking it. And then before we put in all of like the raspberries and blueberries as well. Right, Robbie, you gonna help me make the muffins? Batter into the trays. Do you think you can help me with that?
No, I don't want the batter in the tray.
You don't want the batter in the tray?
No.
What do you want to do with it?
On this one.
You just want to eat it, don't you? Another thing, frozen raspberries are absolutely delicious. Anyway, they're going in the oven, 20 minutes. Oh, that's a big bit of batter, you don't want all that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Whoa. These are great, Robbie. Whoa, look at those. I think they are a little bit hot. Well, after that bit of baking, I posted on Instagram about doing some assumptions, so here goes. I'm currently sitting in Lance's office because, I mean, it's the only place really that there is a little bit of peace and quiet every now and then. So I've come down because on Instagram the other day I posted asking for your assumptions about me. And let's just say there's been some interesting assumptions, but I'm going to talk through some of them. I mean, I can't necessarily talk about all of them because lots of them are they're not YouTube friendly, put it that way. So here we go. First one, an assumption about me is that I hate training. And that's not true. No, I mean, there are definitely days, like with anything, that you are like, oh my gosh, this is so difficult, this is really hard, but I never would use the word hate, because every kind of piece of training that we do is for a reason. So when you always have that in your mind, it's fine. Plus I love it, because I get to do all this kind of stuff. Next one, you get your chest waxed every other day. No. Well, I don't have any hair on my chest because I used to, and I tried waxing, I tried like hair removal creams, all that kind of stuff, and I used to get really bad ingrown hairs and it was horrible. So in the end, I ended up getting it lasered and it was the best thing ever. And I, got all kinds of areas lasered and it's been great. No ingrown hairs since. Next one, you find parenthood easy. Well, where do we start with that? If you ask any parent, if they say that parenthood is easy, then, I would have to say that they're lying, because parenthood is one of the most difficult things. Yes, it's one of the most rewarding and one of the most satisfying things to have them, to watch a child grow and come up with their own opinions and all that kind of stuff. But it's difficult, of course, because your life completely turns upside down. But it's in the best way. So, yes, there are some parts of it that are easy, like the cuddles, and there's some parts that are difficult, like having to, discipline or having to lose a lot of sleep, all that kind of stuff. But, every kid is different. I don't think anyone will tell you that they wouldn't wish they'd never done it, because it is, Robbie's the best thing that's ever happened to us. Next one, slightly arrogant and takes self too seriously. Now, if anyone that actually knows me knows that's probably completely the opposite, because I am a bit of a goofball. So I probably take myself least serious than anyone else, that I know. Which, for better or for worse, to be honest. But I don't take myself seriously at all, especially when cameras aren't rolling. Crikey. So the next one says, you can still speak fluently in Spanish. Now, when I was younger, I started learning Spanish at school. Then obviously I started traveling with diving, and I just thought it would be a really useful language to learn. Sí, puedo hablar español, pero necesito practicar más porque normalmente viajo a todos lugares y puedo hablar con los mexicanos o los sudamericanos para practicar mi español, pero ahora no podemos viajar, pero en el futuro espero que pueda practicar más. Basically what I just said then is, yes, I can speak Spanish, but I haven't, but I need to practice, because normally I travel and I get to speak to the Mexicans or the South Americans, but obviously we haven't been able to travel, and in the future I hope that we can practice more. Next one, you can't sit still. Diving, a toddler, plants, knitting, crochet, etc. That is an assumption that is true. Yeah, I find it really difficult to sit still and do nothing. That's where knitting and crochet has actually come in really handy, because I've been able to force myself to sit down for one and recover and rest and that kind of stuff, but yeah, I'm still doing something. So I still feel like I just find it really hard to sit down and do nothing, and I feel like I could be doing something else. Obviously with Robbie, there's not really many times where I get to sit down and do nothing or crochet or knit. Most of that happens once he's in bed, or if I'm between diving sessions at the pool, whatever it may be. So most of the time I'm just on the go. But I think you ask any parent, they're always on the go. There's always something happening, something that they got to sort, something they got to cook, something they got to organise. But I guess that's the fun of it. Next one, you are calmer than people think. Now, do I give off an impression that I'm not calm? Maybe. But I would say I was quite a calm person. I'm quite there's not many things that will make me lose my cool, or not many things that will make me not calm. I'm a very excitable person, I guess you could say that, but I wouldn't say I was not calm. Like, I don't get mad very easily, if that makes sense, if that's what you're meaning by calm. Next one. You never have a cheat meal. That's absolutely not true. I think food is all about balance and all about moderation. If you want to, the thing is, if you tell yourself you can't have something, that's all you ever want. So having things in moderation, just not being excessive with portion sizes, and knowing that you're gonna get back to being healthy the next day, it's totally fine. One thing I have learned is if I'm gonna have a cheat meal, have it on a day when I've done a really hard workout, because your body needs the calories, your body needs the energy, and you're better off having it then rather than on a Sunday when you're not doing anything. Next one, you made the first move on Lance. Yes, that's true, I did. There's not really much more to say about it than that. We were in LA, and there was a lot of small talk around dinner, about the Olympic Village, and it would make a great movie. Stupid. Well, I guess technically I didn't make the first move because Lance got his assistant to bring his phone over to me to put my number in Lance's phone. So Lance, I guess it was Lance's assistant that made the first move. You can give him some stick about that, let me just say that. Next one. You were forced to come out earlier because you were in the public eye. No, I think there was always pressure on me, like, well, asking what was going on in my love life, and quite frankly, it was none of anyone's business, but it got to a point where I just felt so overwhelmed with it all that I just wanted to come out in my own way, and that was on YouTube. I mean, how many years ago now was it? It's like many years ago. It was 2013. December 2013, so yeah, it's been a very, very long time since I came out, and I wanted to do it on YouTube because I could say exactly what I wanted to say without anyone twisting my words or having to worry about someone writing something different to what I said. So I was able to say exactly what I was ready to say at that time without worrying about anything else, and it's very empowering to be able to say what you want to say without having any follow-up questions or anything like that. You could just say what you need to say, and if people wanted to know more, well, you know, just look at the YouTube video. That's all I'm ready to talk about right now. Thank you for my phone for beeping. Next one, you have larger than average feet. I'd probably say for my height, they're larger than average. I don't know. I'm a size 10 UK, which is what, a size 11 US, and I'm 5'9". So, hey Siri, what is an average male shoe size?
Okay. I found this on the web for what is an average male shoe size.
5'6" to 5'9", 9.5 to 10.5. Technically, I guess I'm slightly above average shoe size, but not really. Well, there you go, I'm a size 10, UK. Next assumption, you cannot have any alcohol in an Olympic year. Well, no, you can have alcohol in an Olympic year if you want. I don't think it massively helps training recovery on a weekend, because if you drink on a weekend and then you feel rough on a Sunday and then you have to train on a Monday and you kind of already started your week, you know, on the back foot. So for me in an Olympic year, I don't drink. Before 2016, I did 2 years without drinking before, and this year going into the Olympics, I will not be drinking alcohol until August 9th, which is the day after the competition. And that way I'll be able to just make them. I want to arrive at the Olympics with no regrets whatsoever. So it's a valid assumption. Some athletes don't drink and some athletes just drink it in moderation. Next one, you find it hard to juggle being a parent and an Olympic athlete. Yes, of course it's difficult. It's difficult being an Olympic athlete. It's difficult being a parent. It's difficult doing both of those things at the same time. It's like being a parent is extremely challenging if you have to stay at home and watch, you know, your children all day, and also it's challenging if you're a working parent and you have to go to the office or to a job and sort childcare. You know, it's a lot of plates to be juggling, but at the same time it gives you a certain kind of perspective on your work and your work-life balance. So I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world. Next one, you are completely shaved / smooth. Now I kind of touched on this earlier, but yes, I'm not, you know, completely shaved. I mean, my legs still have a little bit of hair on them, because I mean I trim it so they don't turn into, like, you know, walking bushes, and also because it makes it look nicer when I'm diving. Like, I know some people might not agree about shaving legs, but I trim them down so that when you see my legs straighten, you can see more of the muscle definition, because then that way when the judges see you dive through the air, you're like, oh, he's got really straight legs. Okay, that's, you know, it can make little differences, because diving's an aesthetic sport, and if it can make the difference between, if someone's decided, oh, 8.5 or a 9, or I don't know, and they just thought, oh, actually his legs were really, like, straight. Just out of those little things, if they go to a 9 rather than an 8.5, great. Next assumption, you didn't want to have children when you were younger. I've always wanted kids. So much so that I, you know, started buying kids clothes for my future children when I was like 16, 17, because I was like, I was traveling and I saw this little monkey shirt and I was like, I can see my son wearing that one day, and you know, he did. Robbie's ended up wearing that shirt, and I think it's one of those things that once you, I don't know, I think people's minds change about children as they grow up, but that's something that I've always been certain about, is that wanting a family. Next one, you are great at singing. No, no, absolutely not. I used to dress up as Elvis when I was a kid and I sang at my auntie's wedding. I used to sing at like karaoke at the caravan site that we used to go to. Wasn't good. And the last one I've got here is that you're really sweet and innocent on camera, but a naughty bad boy in person. I mean, probably ask Lance that one. I think everyone is, you know, around friends is slightly more loose, and basically I'm the person that if I've had a few drinks at a party, I'll be on the karaoke mic, I'll be on the pole, you know, I'm that person. Well, I don't think I come across that sweet and innocent on camera. I mean, come on, right? Or maybe I do. I don't know. But yeah, no, I guess I wouldn't class myself as sweet and innocent. So there we have it, a little bit of baking, a little bit of assumptions, and I hope you learned a little bit more about me. Don't forget to leave your comments below for questions for next week, and give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe and all that jazz, and I will see you next week.